You can start.
Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are proceeding with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita with emphasis on the commentary of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. We are in chapter 17, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, which we started yesterday after completing the previous chapter. The previous chapter ended with a mention by Bhagavan saying that you must follow what is written in the Shastras. If you don't, you will not get Sadgati. Now, this gave rise to a question from Arjuna of a certain conflict between Shraddha and actual following of Shastras. So his question was, one has good Shraddha, but he is not following the Shastra rules. What will happen to him? You will classify him as Sattva, you will classify him as Rajas, you will classify him as Tamas. That was the question. And Shraddha itself being faith in Shastras and the words of the Guru Vakya. So the question assumes that the person has full faith in Shastra and Guru Vakya, but he is not following the Shastras in total. So Bhagavan, this question itself assumes, according to Shankara's interpretation, the question assumes that he has faith in Shastra, but he has no knowledge of Shastra. Somehow he has not got proper exposure to Shastra, and he is following what his elders have been following. So Bhagavan gives an answer to this question, which is very, very beautiful. The whole chapter is an answer to this question. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Chetitam Shruno. Shraddha Trividha Bhavati. You said, na? The question was, Arjuna said, he has full Shraddha, but he has violated Shastra Vidhi. That was the question. What will happen to him? Is he Sattva? Is he Rajas? Is he Tamas? He says Shraddha itself is divided into three categories. Which category does this man belong to? If he belongs to Sattva category, the question will not arise. So he will follow the Shastras. He would have got the knowledge of the Shastras. So, Shraddha itself is divided into three categories. Which category does this man belong to? The answer depends on that. How beautifully he is taking the discussion forward. Trividha Shraddha Bhavati. Shraddha is of three types. Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja. Dehinam, for those who possess a body, that is for human beings, we are talking about human beings here. For human beings, this Shraddha, Sa, Svabhavaja, it comes with the birth. It is his nature. According to his nature, there are three types of Shraddha. Why this Shraddha? Why it is Svabhavaja? Shankara is explaining. Janmantarkrita dharmadi samskaraha maranakale abhivyaktaha. Whatever samskaras are performed by you in earlier janmas, those appear fresh at the time of your death. Those determine whether you have got Satviki Shraddha or Rajasic Shraddha or Tamasic Shraddha. That is the whatever samskara you have accumulated in your previous janmas. Tato jata svabhavaja. Satviki, Sattva Nirvritta Deva Pujadi Vishaya. How does one know whether it is Satviki Shraddha or Rajasi Shraddha or Tamasi Shraddha? Of course, the following slokas are explaining that, but here Shankara gives a preview. He says, if you are interested in worship of devas, puja of devas, etc., then that is Satviki Shraddha. If you are interested in pujas of Yaksha Rakshasas, Kubera, etc., Rajasi Rajo Nirvrita Yaksha Raksha Pujadi Vishaya, that is Rajasi. Tamasi Tamo Nirvrita Preta Pishachadi Pujadi Vishaya. If you are interested in worshipping Pretas, Pishachas, etc., then that is Tamasi. Evam Trividham Tam Uchyamanam Shraddham Shrunu Avadharaya. Listen. Shrunu means listen. Now I am going to give you the details of these three. Listen. त्रिविधा भवति श्रद्धा देहिनां सा स्वभावजा सात्विकी राजसी चैव तामसी चेति तां शृणु सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत हे भारत हे अर्जुना born in Bharatакула सर्वस्य श्रद्धा सत्त्वानुरूपा भवति सर्वस्य for all beings no exception for all human beings shraddha is based on sattvanurupa depending on their nature of the mind. What is this nature of the mind? Vishishta samskaropayanta karananurupa sarvasya pranijavasya. Vishishta samskara upayata antahkarana. Because Shankara explained in the previous sloka itself, this swabhava, this nature, is determined by samskaras which you have accumulated in previous births. So, that determines the mind. The mind is shaped by all these previous samskaras. That is what Bhagavan is also saying. Sattva is the mind here in this context. Antahkarana. Sattva anurupa, it is following the mind. Shraddha is following the mind. Shraddha's nature is the mind's nature. Shraddhamayaha ayam purushaha. This human being is full of Shraddha only. He is made of Shraddha only. Means what? His mind is determined by Shraddha and his actions are determined by the mind. So naturally all his actions are based on his Shraddha. Ayam Purushaha Shraddhamayaha. Yo yat Shraddhaha sayeva saha. Whatever type of Shraddha he has, his character, he himself, his existence, is determined by that only. Sayeva saha. He is that only. Whatever is his Shraddha, whether it is Satviki Shraddha, or whether it is Rajasi Shraddha, or whether it is Tamasi Shraddha, you cannot say, I have Satviki Shraddha and I am a Tamasi man. It is not like that. If you have Satviki Shraddha, you are a Satviki man. If you are having Tamasi Shraddha, you are a Tamasi man. That determines your character. Yo yat Shraddhaha sayeva saha. Shraddhamayaha ayam purushaha. This human being is determined, is full of that Shraddha, and his character, his existence is determined by that Shraddha only. What is Shraddha? Faith in Shastras and Guru Vakya. So depending on the level of his faith in Shastras and Guru Vakya, if he has no faith in Shastras, if he has no faith in Guru Vakya, like Nastikas have, then naturally he will go to Tamasi group, obviously. That is because his Shraddha is Tamasi type. So this is the definition he gives for the three types of Shraddha. Now, in this context, we can remind ourselves of Nachiketa from Kathopanishad, famous story of Nachiketa. Nachiketa is a young boy. His father was doing a great yajna, and he was giving cows as dana to Brahmanas. And this Nachiketa saw that his father was, whatever cows he was giving, were all puny, not healthy, unhealthy, puny cows he was giving. He was selecting them and he was giving in dana. So he became very upset because we are supposed to give the best in dana. He was giving the worst. He was watching and watching. Even as a young boy, he felt very upset. So he went and asked him, why you are doing this? He didn't answer. Then he said, then Nachiketa said, what are you going to do now further? Are you going to continue like this? Then he became angry because his question was very clear that he was very upset. He didn't like his young boy getting upset with him. I know all the rules, this fellow is questioning me. That was his attitude. So he said, now I will hand you over to Yama. The question didn't arise at all. In a flash of anger, he said, I will hand you over to Yama. That means I will give you in Dhanam to Yama. Because he was saying, no, why are you giving all puny cows to these Brahmanas? I will hand you over to Yama, he said. The biggest Dhanam I have, Putra Dhanam. So, though he said it in anger, Nachiketa took it literally and he proceeded to Yamaloka. He waited for 3 days because Yama was absent, he had gone out somewhere. And Yama came after 3 days. He saw a Brahmin boy waiting at the gate. To make a Brahmana wait at the gate is a sin. So Yama said, I'm very sorry. I was out of station. I came just now. I believe you had to wait here for 3 nights. So I give you 3 boons. Please ask me 3 boons. So first boon he said was, look at his magnanimity. First boon he asked was, my father should not even remember that he became angry with me. He should not remember that he gave me in Dhanam to Yama. He should be, when I go back, he should be pleased with me. Number 1. Granted. Number 2, there are various Agnis which are in Shastras. There should be one Nachiketa Agni, and he gave some details regarding that. He asked Yama also to give more details. He said, yes, okay, there will be Nachiketa Agni from tomorrow. Third only was the most difficult. He said, what happens to a person after he dies? Where does he go? This was the question. Now, Yama dissuaded him from this question. He said, no, I will give you the biggest wealth on earth. He tried to give him various enticements. I will give you girls, I will give you wealth, I will give you palaces, I will make you king, this, that. He said, no, I don't want. Whatever you mentioned, they are all transient. They will be here today, they will not be there tomorrow. I want to know something of permanent, eternal value, what they call Parabrahma. Does this soul reach Parabrahma after leaving the body? Where does it go? Then Yama gave a detailed answer. The whole of Kathopanishad is a detailed answer to this question. So the point here is that that kind of Shraddha was motivating Nachiketas. The greatest Sattviki Shraddha we find in literature is with Nachiketas. Similarly with Prahalada when he went to the forest. So these are rare instances where the highest level of Shraddha, if he had no Shraddha in Shastras and Guru Vakya, if he had no faith, why would he persist like this with Yamadharma Raja? So that is the position of the three types of Shraddha. सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः. I think Vasanta Lakshmi has joined. You want to join Vasanta Lakshmi?
Mama. Namaskaram, Mama.
Sloka number 4.
Ejante satvika devan yaksharakshamsi rajasaha pretan bhutaganamshchanye ejante tamasa janaha.
Vasanta Lakshmi has been our student from Shankara Stotra Makaranda days from 2021. She has joined today for chanting these slokas. Satvikaha devan ejante. Those who are of Satvika Shraddha, they worship devas. Rajasaha yaksharakshamsi ejante. Rajasas worship yakshas and rakshasas. Yaksha is Kubera and his group. Rakshasas are Ravana, because Ravana was the brother of Kubera. So he represents the Rakshasa group. So people worship Kubera, people worship Ravana, Yaksharakshamsi. Rakshamsi Nayarratadayaha. Anandagiri gives the example of Nirriti. Nirriti is the Rakshasa, Asurakula, who performed a lot of tapas. And Parameshwara was happy to grant him the status of Dikpalaka. One of the Dikpalakas is Nirriti. And facing that direction, no auspicious deed is done because he is from Asurakula, Nirriti. But he got the status of a Lokapala, Dikpalakas. So he is one of the Dikpalakas. So people may worship him. So if you are a Rajasi group, you will worship Kabera, you will worship Nirriti, etc., etc. Pretan bhuta ganashchanye yajante tamasa janaha. Tamasa janaha, those who are of the Tamasa group, they worship Pretan bhuta ganashcha. Pretas and bhutas. Pretas are ancestral spirits. Bhutas are ghosts. Sadharmat prachyutaha vipradeha dehapatat udbham vayudeham apannaha pretaha. This preta reference comes in Srimad Bhagavatam and so many other Puranas. How preta comes and speak to their families, etc. Those Brahmanas and others who have deviated from the path of dharma, after they drop their body, instead of going on the prescribed path is going to Yamadharmaraja, going to Swarga, going to Naraka, or going to upper lokas, or going to lower lokas, and then coming back to earth. This is the prescribed path we have seen before. They will not follow this prescribed path. Then what will they do? Vayudeham apannaha. They will attain a special body consisting of Vayu, consisting of air. And they will roam around earth only. They will not leave the earth. There is no question of they are traveling to other lokas, not even to Yamaloka. They are called pretas. So, Tamasa people will worship such pretas. Similarly, there are Bhutaganas who are also like this similar nature, not having resorted to the prescribed path. यजन्ते सात्विका देवान् यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणाश्चान्ये यजन्ते तामसा जनाः.
अशास्त्रविहितं घोरं तप्यन्ते ये तपो जनाः दम्भाहङ्कारसंयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः. Two shlokas.
अशास्त्र विहितं घोरम तप्यन्ते ये तपोजनाः. Now he is talking about tapas. The subject taken up in this shloka is tapas. He defined the three types of shraddhas and whom they worship, etc. Now those people, when they worship, they do tapas. So the tapas itself determines your shraddha, how your shraddha is following the shape of your tapas you take, that he is now mentioning. Tapas should be understood as any puja, any yaga, any worship in our context today. Ashastra vihitam ghoram tapaha ye janaha tapyante. Those people who perform tapas which is prohibited by shastras, ashastra vihitam. Something which is prohibited by shastras and which is terrible, ghoram. And these people, dambha ahankara samyuktaha, dambha ahankara samyuktaha. Dambha is religious ostentation, we have seen. They are doing the tapas not for any noble aim, but for showing to the world that they are doing tapas. That is dambha. Ahankara, they think they are very great. They have a lot of resources. That is ahankara. So, with this type of qualities in their minds, dambha and ahankara, then they also have kamaraga balanvitaha. Kama, raga, and bala are their main strengths. Kama, their entire life is ridden by desire. Raga is attachment, desire for things not obtained, attachment to things which are obtained, and strength. They are very strong. They are strong mentally, they are strong physically, they are strong with wealth, resources, etc., etc. But all these resources they could have used in Satvika tapas, but they use it in Tamasi tapas. So Bhagavan says these people they follow the tapas route, which is entirely prohibited in Shastras and which is terrible. There are people like that. एवं कार्यतः निर्णीतः सत्त्वादिनिष्ठाः शास्त्रविद्युः सर्गे तत्र कश्चिदेव सहस्रेषु देवपूजादिपरः सत्त्वनिष्ठः भवति. Having classified Satviki, Rajasi and Tamasi Shraddha, Bhagavan says, very rarely people are doing Deva Puja properly as per Shastras. Many people are Rajonishtaha and Tamonishtaha. They take to Rajas and Tamas. So now he has taken up Tamas in this shloka. And he continues in the next shloka. Ashastra-vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapo janaha dambhahankara-samyuktaha kamaraga-balanvitaha.
कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्.
It is not karshayantaha, it is karshayantaha. Sha, Shankara, that Sha. Karshayantaha sharirastham bhutagramam acetasaha. Acetasaha. With no minds of their own. What does it mean? With no minds of their own. Mind is not used for discrimination, viveka. That means they have lost their viveka. Achetataha means avivekana. So having lost their sense of discrimination, they perform this type of terrible tapas. And what do? Sharirastham bhutagramam mam chaiva karchayantaha. Bhutagramam, the sense organs, because the sense organs are all determined, made of the five elements, starting from Akasha right up to Prithvi. So these five elements constitute the sense elements, sense organs. So Bhutagram. Sharirastham Bhutagramam, the sense organs which are in their bodies, and Mam Chaiva, including me, I am also present in their body. Their sense organs as well as myself. They karchayantaha, they trouble me. They trouble their sense organs. They trouble me. They torture. They subject me. They subject the sense organs to torture. Krishi purvantaha means making them thin, making them emaciated. Mam chaiva tatkarma buddhi sakshi bhutam antashsharirastham narayanam karshayantaha. I am the sakshi, the witness of their intellect, of their karma. I am present in all the bodies. And they go to the extent of torturing me. Torturing me means what? So can anybody torture Bhagavan? So he is giving the answer to that. Mad arushadhana akaranameva matkarshanam. What is the torture which Bhagavan undergoes? If you do not follow what he has told you, that is the torture. That is how Shankara defines very nicely. Mati anusasana akaranameva. Whatever anusasana, whatever discipline he has told us to follow, you don't follow. Akaran. Then that is torturing him. So such people, tan with the asura nishchayane, know that these people are determined to be in the asura group. Now, why this is being defined? Tan pariharanartham, avoid such people. Don't go anywhere near such people. Such people are defined in these two slokas. They perform such terrible tapas. They are driven by ostentation and ego and desire, attachment and strength, and they torture the sense organs in their body. And also me, I am present in their body. Such people are determined to remain as asuras. Don't go anywhere near them. That is the lesson he is giving us. Karchayanta sharirastham bhutagravamachetasah mam chaivanta sharirastham tan vidyasura
आहारास्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु.
आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधः भवति प्रियः. Sarvatya, there is no exception. Now he has taken up the subject of ahara, food. For all human beings, the desired food, priyaha aharaha. The food which they desire follows three categories, depending on their shraddha, sattva, rajas and tamas. The sattvika shraddha man will eat a certain type of food. The tamasa shraddha man will eat another type of food. So he is now going to talk about that. Similarly, yajnastapas tatha dhanam kesham vedamimam shrunu. Similarly, there are three types of yajnas, yagas which they perform, pujas which they perform, three types of tapas which they perform, three types of dhanam which they perform, charity to brahmanas. So he says, kesham bhedam, difference between them, how these three types operate. Now I am going to tell you, listen. So he says, the food which you take, the yajna which you perform, the tapas which you perform, See, yajna is in present day puja, bhajan, etc., etc. Tapas is upavasa, vrata, etc. That is disciplining the body as well as the mind. That is tapas. Yajna is the ritual which you perform. So that is the difference. Then dhanam, which you give. Now these are also of three categories. Trivido bhavati, depending on your sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now that he is going to tell us. Aharastvapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priyaha. Priyaha, that is the desired food. They may take some other food if you force them to take. But if you ask them what food you like, they will go for the food which is driven by their nature. यज्ञस्तपस्तथादानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु.
आयुः सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः रस्याः स्निग्धाः स्थिरा हृद्याः आहाराः सात्विकप्रियाः.
Now, satvika priyaha aharaha. Those people who are sattvika, sattvaguna, full of sattvaguna, they like this type of food. Which type of food he is describing them? Ayuhu sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardhanaha. Vivardhanaha means increasing, extending, lengthening, extending your lifespan, ayuhu. Sattva, the mind quality. Your mind quality will increase, means it will become better and better. That type of food. The type of food which will increase your lifespan, the type of food which will better your mind quality, bala, which will increase your strength, arogya, which will keep you free from diseases. Arogya is freedom from disease. Sukha, roga is disease, arogya is freedom from disease, being healthy. Sukha, at the same time, all these qualities should not make you feel unhappy. You will feel happy. Preeti, you will feel like taking more and more of that. That is preeti. Love of the food, happiness with the food, comfort with the food, comfort and love. Sukha preeti. Vivardhana, the more you take that food, the more of this will increase all this. These are the definitions of sattvika food. Then further definition. Rasyas, snigdha, sthira, hridya. Rasyaha. They are full of rasa, full of good taste. Rasa is taste. They are delectable. Snigdha, they are oily, not dry. Chiraha, they will remain firm. Chirakala sthayanaha dehe. Firm in their effect will remain for a long time in the body. That is thira. Food which leaves its impact on the body for a long time. That is thira. Hridyaha, which appeal. Hridya means which appeal to your heart. Appealing food. These are the foods which Sattvika people will take. This is how Sattvika people's food is defined. Similarly, he is going to define Rajasi food and Tamasi food. So, food which extends your lifespan, strengthens your mind quality, extends your, increases your strength, make you free from diseases, make you feel comfortable, make you love the food, and which are food which are delectable, oily, remaining for a long time in your body, and which is very appealing to you, appetizing, hridya. These are the foods which sattvikas like. आयु सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीति विवर्धनाः रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्या आहाराः सात्विकप्रियाः.
कट्वाम्ललवनात्युष्णा तीक्ष्णरूक्षविदाहिनः आहारा राजसस्येष्टाः दुःखशोकमयप्रदाः.
Katvamla lavanatyushna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha aharaha rajasasya ishtaha. These are the foods which Rajasa people like, ishta. The food which Rajasa people like. Katu. Katu means bitter. Amla, sour, like our tamarind. Amla. Katu, amla. Lavana, saltish. This doesn't mean that you should totally avoid salt, you should totally avoid sour taste. It doesn't mean that, or bitter taste. They're all part of Shad Rasas, six rasas which we are supposed to take. These are parts of the six types of taste. But point made here is extreme. They will go to extreme bitterness, extreme sourness, extreme saltishness, etc. Ushna, similarly, very hot. Tikshna, very pungent. Ruksha, very harsh, harsh on the tongue, harsh on the body. Vidahina, burning sensation. These are the foods which Rajasa people like. Bitter, sour, saltish, hot, hot in temperature, pungent in taste, harsh to the body, burning sensation. And these foods, what do they result in? Dukkha shoka amaya pradaha. It gives you pain in the long run. It makes you suffer in the long run. Shoka, pain and suffering. Amaya is disease, ill health. So this is what will result if you take this type of food. तात्कालिकी पीडा दुःखम तदनंतर भावि दौर्मनस्यम शोकः व्याधिः आमयः. Brahmanandagiri gives this explanation. Pain which results immediately is dukkha, but suffering which results in the long term, that is shoka. So you will get immediate pain as well as you will get suffering in the long term. That is the definition of tamasa food. I'm saying rajasa food. कट्वं लवणात्युष्ण तीक्ष्णरूक्षविदाहिनः आहारा राजसस्येष्ट दुःखशोकामयप्रदाः.
यातयामं गतरसं पूतिपर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टमपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसप्रियम्.
Bhojanam tamasapriyam, the food which Kamasa people like. What are those foods? Yatayamam, which is described as mandapakvam by Shankara. That is not properly cooked. Also, it means, more importantly, the food which has lasted more than one yama is 3 hours. After cooking the food should be consumed within 3 hours. This is the rule, Shastra's Ayurveda rule. If you consume the food cooked more than 3 hours before you consume, that is yatayama. That food is tamasa food. That should not be taken. Nowadays, we will argue that we have kept it in the fridge, but that is not healthy. We should cook and eat within 3 hours. That is what the Shastra says. Yatayamam, the food which has crossed one yama and which is not well cooked, both are covered in this. Gata rasam, maybe because of exposure to a long time or exposure in a wrong place. Gata rasam, this essence is gone. The essence of the food is gone. Gata rasam. Putim. Puti means durgandhi, bad smell. Paryushitam. Paryushitam pakvam sat ratyantara chamsayat. That means which has stayed for a long time, including a night. Paryushitam. Ratyantaritam. It has stayed for a long time. Yatayamam was only one yama. This food has gone even through the whole night. That is Paryushitam. Very old food. Now, in this context, we must remember one thing. There was a Shastrakara from the North India who went on a tour of South India. This is long back, many hundred, maybe 300 years back. When he returned, he made this comment on South Indian food. He said, South Indians are very good in following the Shastras, very Shastra minded. But one thing which I never could understand, why are they eating rice which has been kept in the night in water next day? Well, this is the habit which South Indians have even today. So that he was saying it is totally against Shastras. Why are they following it? I don't understand this. This is what he wrote. So that is the Paryushitam. Uchishtam. Uchishtam is something which has been taken by somebody and then the balance after somebody has eaten. That is Uchishtam. Bhaktashishtam. Amedhyam. Amedhyam means that you will not give for puja. Medha is yajna, puja, etc. Ayajnarham. Something which is not suitable for puja, yajna, etc. Impure food. These are the foods which Tamasa people will like. That is a food which has lasted more than 3 hours, which is badly cooked, which has lost its essence, which is smelling bad, which has stayed for a long time, including a night, which has been taken by somebody and it is the balanced food, and which is not fit for puja. If it is not fit for puja, you should not take. That is another definition. That is tamasa priyam. As far as food is concerned, 3 categories Bhagavan has given. And food has been taken up for a lot of discussion in our Upanishads and Shastras. Chandogya Upanishad says, Annamayam is omya manaha. The food determines your mind. So be careful with your food. Ahara shuddha sattva shuddhihi. The mind becomes pure if your food is pure. Sattva shuddha dhruva smritihi. If your mind is pure, your memory will be pure. Your memory will be long-standing. You will not have the tendency to forget. Smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramokshaha. If your memory is good, you will remember all shastras, so you will not enter into adharmic actions, and eventually sarva granthinam vipramokshaha. All your knots will be off. What are knots? Knots are avidya knots, knots of avidya which are present in the body. Those will go and you will attain jnana. So, right up to attainment of jnana, food determines. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi, sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi, smritilambhe sarva granthinam vipramokshaha. There are other subhashitas which also mention this. Kavale kavale kurvanne ramanamanukeertanam yak kaschit purusho snati sonnadoshair nalipyate. With every kavala which you take of the food, if you pronounce Ramanama, Ramanama Anukirtan, even if the food is bad, Annadosha will not stick to you. ईर्ष्या भयक्रोधतमन्वितेन लुब्धेन रुग्धैन्यनिपीडितेन विद्वेषयुक्तेन च सेव्यमानम् अन्नं न सम्यक् परिपाकमेति. Food which is served by such people will not lead to good result. Who are those people? Irsha bhayakrodhatamanvitena, served by somebody who is having jealousy, who is having fear, who is having anger. Lubdha, who is avaricious. Rugdainyanipiditena, he is suffering from disease. He is suffering from extreme poverty. So such people, if they serve you food, vidvesha yuktena cha, hatred. If such people sevyamanamannam na samyak paripakameti, that food will not get properly digested, he says. Food served by such people will not get digested. It's not only the food which is mentioned by Bhagavan in this slokas, the quality of food, also the people who serve is determined by Shastras. That is why foods should be taken always at home, Shastra says. Shastra says that. Food prepared and served by one's mother or one's wife is the best, according to Shastras, not by any other means. That is why in earlier times, Paranna Bhojanam was always criticized, scorned. Good Vedikas will never take food in anybody else's home. They will take food only in their homes. Para Anna Bhojan. So this is the background of good food. यातयामं गतरथं भूतिपर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टमपि च मेध्यं भोजनं तामसप्रियम्
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञः विधिदृष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः.
Now he said he is going to also describe yajna, tapas and dana categories, because yajna, tapas and danam determine the character of a person. Yajna, dana, tapakriyaha. Bhagavan is mentioning frequently in Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 18, he is going to come back to this. Yajna, dana, tapakriyaha. They are very important. Yajna, dana and tapas. So he is taking special efforts to categorize these three. Ahara is the basic thing, so he started with that. Now he is going to talk about yajna. Three types of yajna: sattvika yajna, rajasa yajna, and tamasa yajna. First, sattvika yajna. Aphala kankshibhir yajnam vidhidrishto yajyate. Yajnaha, that yajna, yajyate, which is being performed, that yajna which is being performed by aphalakangshibihi, those people who are not looking for fruit of the yajna. Don't desire the fruit. Akanksha is desire. Bhagavan has been mentioning repeatedly, all your actions should be such that you don't look for desire, you don't desire for fruit. So that he is mentioning again. Aphalakangshibihi, no phalakanksha, no desire for fruit. By such people, yajna which is being performed, vididrishtaha, all rules being followed according to Shastra injunctions, no violation. Then two qualities he gave. Then third quality, yashtavyame viti manas samadhaya. If you are doing it under pretense or under force, then that is not sattvika. Then it will go into Rajasa category. You should do it because you like to do it. Yashtavyameva yati. This puja I must do. This yaga I must do. With that determination, manaha samadhaya. Mind should be determined. Samadhana is determined. There is no wavering of the mind. This puja I must do. This yaga I must do for my sake, for Bhagavan's sake. Not for the sake of impressing others, not for any fruit. That should be your attitude. If that is the yajna which you perform, that yajna is sattvika yajna, saha sattvikaha. Yashtavyameva iti, yajnaswarupa nirvartanameva karyam. I must do the yajna as determined by Shastras. Na anena purushartho mama kartavyaha. I am not looking for any purushartha out of this yajna. That is dharma, artha, kama and moksha are the four purusharthas. Even those fruits I don't want. I am not looking for any fruit. I am looking only to perform the yajna as given by Shastra for, that's why we always say Parameshwara Prityartham or Narayana Prityartham. Because the only fruit which we expect is Bhagavan should be pleased. That's all. No other fruit. If that is, no other fruit including the Purushartha. Na anena Purushartha mama kartavyaha ityevam nishtitya. That yajna is Tattvika. अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिदृष्टो ययुज्यते यष्टव्यमेविति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः
अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत् इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्.
Know that yajna to be Rajasa yajna. Tam yajnam vidhi Rajasam. Which yajna is Rajasa yajna? Abhisandhayatu phalam. Looking for the fruit. Fruit is the main thing. He is doing the yajna for a certain fruit. Then that is Rajasa yajna. Abhisandhayatu phalam. That he is putting at the beginning itself. So that determines the quality of yajna. If you are looking for a fruit of the yajna, that is Rajasa yajna. Dambhartham api. Also for showing to the world ostentation, for being ostentatious yajna. Everybody should know I have done this yajna. I have done it properly as per Shastras. Everybody should know and come and praise me. If that is your attitude, then that is Dambha. These are the two qualities which determine the quality, Rajasa quality of the yajna. Yajyate Bharata Shrestha Tam yajnam vidhi Rajasam. That yajna is, which is performed in this manner, should be understood as Rajasa yajna. That is, yajna which is performed with only fruit as the main thing, as the main goal, and for religious ostentation, for showing to the world. If these two qualities, three qualities were given by Bhagavan for determining Sattvika yajna. Don't look for the fruit, follow the rules. We determined your mind that this yaga must be performed for pleasing Bhagavan, not for any other purpose. Similarly, here the fruit is the main goal, and people should be impressed by yajna. If that is your attitude, that is Rajasa. Abhidandhayatu phalam dambharthamapi chaiva yat yajyate bharata shrestha tam yajnam vidhi rajasam.
विधिहीनमसृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनमदक्षिणम् श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते.
Yajnam tamasam parikshate. That yajna is called tamasa yajna. Parikshate means it is being called. Which yajna? Vidhihinam, not following the rules. Both Satvika yajna and Rajata yajna were following the rules, mind you. No rules are being violated. If you are violating Shastra rules, then automatically you go into the tamasa category. Asrishtanam, when food is not being offered to Brahmanas, ब्राह्मणेभ्यः न सृष्टं न दत्तम् अन्नं यस्मिन् यज्ञे सः असृष्टान्नः. Food is not being served to Brahmanas. That yajna is of no use. That is tamasa yajna. Mantrahinam, where mantras are not properly chanted. Swarataha varnataha va viyuktam mantrahinam. Whether mantras are not being chanted at all or whether they are being chanted with the wrong swara. Swarataha varnataha. Then that is mantrahina. Mantras which are omitted, mantras which are not chanted according to the prescribed swara, then the yajna becomes mantrahin. Adakshinam, where proper dakshina is not given to the brahmanas who perform. That is very important. Ukta dakshina rahitam, whatever is prescribed as dakshina. Shastra prescribed a certain dakshina, of course. What Shastra prescribes is not being followed nowadays. It's difficult to follow. But at least reasonable, the dakshina should be reasonable. The reasonableness of dakshina is determined according to the capacity of the giver. That is what Shastra also says. Shastra agrees with this concept. Dakshina is not a fixed, that is why Shastra is not very clear in its determination. Because dakshina should be given in time according to your capacity. That is what Shastra says. You should not say, I will perform the yajna today, tomorrow I will give you dakshina. That is scorned by Shastras. In fact, Shastra says very clearly, if you delay the dakshina by 1 hour, it will become double. If you delay by 1 day, it will become so many times, etc. Even that is mentioned in Shastras. So, giving the dakshina in time, giving the dakshina, the quantity according to your capacity, that is important. So, adakshanam, so dakshina which is not following this type of guidelines. Shraddha virahitam. Shraddha is not there at all, devoid of Shraddha. No faith in Shastras, no faith in Guru Vakya. I am simply doing for the sake of impressing the world or for some other purpose. That is why I am not following the rules, Vidhi. That is why I am not serving food to the Brahmanas. I don't have any faith. That is why I am not following proper mantras and I am not giving proper dakshina. Because all this is driven by Shraddha, following the rules, serving food, chanting the mantras properly, giving dakshina, etc., are all determined by your Shraddha. When you don't have Shraddha itself, naturally, that is why he is putting it at the end of this cross. Shraddha virahitam, totally devoid of Shraddha. So that yajna is tamasam parichakshate. Tamo nirvrittam kathayanti. Tamo tamasam, which is engulfed only by tamas. It is engulfed only by ajnana. That kind of yajna. What is the use of that yajna? विधिहीनमसृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनमदक्षिणं श्रद्धा विरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते.
देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञा पूजनं शौचमार्जवम् ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते.
Now he is going to the category of tapas. Tapas, as I said, refers to vrata, upavasa, etc., which discipline the body as well as the mind. Now, yajna is a ritual, puja, etc., which was categorized in the previous 3 slokas. Now, the coming 3 slokas classify the tapas, the discipline which you follow. Devedvijaya Guru Pragya Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. These are the qualities which determine the bodily tapas. Because he is going to talk about Manasim tapas, Vangmayam tapas in the next few slokas. Tapas which is verbal, tapas which is mental. Now, tapas which is bodily has been taken up. 3 types of tapas. Bodily tapas. What is bodily tapas? Devedvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Worshipping, doing puja to devas, to brahmanas, to gurus, to scholars. Prajna. Those who are scholars. Those who have mastered shastras. They are prajnas. So, worshipping, offering puja to devas, to brahmanas, to gurus, and to scholars. That is shariram tapas. Because without disciplining the mind, without disciplining the body, you cannot do a proper puja, whether it is Deva puja, Dvija puja, Guru puja, or Prajna puja. Any puja includes certain effort, which is bodily effort. So that is what he is talking about. Shaucham, similarly, purity of the body. Arjavam, being straightforward. That is, whatever you do with your body should be straightforward, not for the sake of impressing somebody. You know, sometimes you make bodily gesture, you make a facial gesture just to impress, show your hand, come on, this, that, all that. All that is not required. Arjavam, straightforwardness. Brahmacharyam, that is very important. When you are doing puja, your mind should be fully of pleasing Bhagavan, pleasing Parabrahma, not for anything else. Brahmacharya, continence, following the rules of continence, not thinking of women. Brahmacharya, ahimsa. By your body, you should not be violent towards any other human being or any living being. You should not cause harm to any human being or any living being. That is ahimsa. These are the qualities which determine shariram tapas. शरीरप्रधानैः सर्वैरेव कार्यकरणैः कर्त्रादिभिः साध्यम्. This is the tapas which is affecting all your sense organs, all your body parts, karyakaranaiti. That is the tapas, which is shariram tapas. Devedvijaguru prajna pujanam sauchamarjavam brahmacharyamahimsa cha shariram tapavachyate. We stop for today. We continue next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. IST. Any questions?
Those who have questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video and ask questions. Any questions, anybody? Any questions? No questions, Guruji.
No questions. So we close for the day and we meet again next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. IST. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Shri Radharajeshwarye Jaya Jaya.
Thank you.